Hello and welcome to another video from earnped.com. I am StevieB. Hope that you guys are doing well today. I am running a skill pill, skilling up some melee, trying to finish out rank 20 of the Merry Creatures Challenge. I am not going to make it all the way through rank 26 like I previously intended. I just got sidetracked with some stuff in real life and in game. I also have a little bit of a bronchial thing going on, so I'm a little bit wheezy baby today. You guys do know I used to be a rapper, right? Yeah, my name was Wheezy because I've got asthma. And then I got sued for copyright infringement, so I changed my name to Puff Daddy, and I had my inhaler, and I'd carry it around. And then I got sued again, so I quit the game. So that's why my rap career kind of came to an end. So I apologize, guys. I know, corny joke. I apologize if there's a little bit of wheezing that you can hear come through. Hopefully the doctors will have me fixed up in no time. But today I wanted to make a video about things to never say in Entropia if you want to have a prosperous trading career. So the reason for this is Entropia mirrors real life because we've got a real cash economy, but it's not an exact substitute, right? So what I mean by that is in real life, if you're a complete idiot, you can go walk into a bank and say, this is a stick-up, give me all the money, and you can rob the bank. And then what's going to happen? The police are going to come in short order, and they're going to take you away, and they're going to remove you from society, and they're going to take you to the real-life version of the No Way Out prison, and that's going to be the end of it, right? Well, in Entropia, the banks, like Never Die Bank and the bank at Twin Peaks, are not lootable PvP areas. They're not areas where we can get a gang together and go in with weapons and rob them and take all their loot. And Mindark does not have a police force that runs around trying to catch us and throw us into the No Way Out prison. I think it would be a really cool, really good addition to the game, but it's just not how it is at the moment, right? So we have some constraints inside of Entropia that we don't necessarily have in real life. Some of them we do. A great example when it comes to the market is we don't have title companies. We don't have courts that can enforce contracts. We don't even have contracts. We just make trades, and all trades are final, end of story. Unless there's some really, really, really rare situation, Mindark, being the grand arbitrator, is not going to interfere. And if you're stupid enough to make a bad trade, end of story, right? The other thing is we have artificial limits imposed. In real life, let's say I want to sell a trauma amp. In real life, I could run radio ads, TV ads, newspaper ads. I could make bandit signs. I could get flyers and go door to door handing out flyers. I could come up with some kind of a weird gimmick and go stand in front of a store like Walmart. I can't do any of that in Entropia. In Entropia, I have a much smaller range of options. I can put it on auction. I can use the trade channels. I can do an event. That I've got a much, much smaller marketing sphere, right? A very, very small marketing range. So it makes it a little bit harder. So this kind of gets to the heart of the video, things you never want to say in Entropia if you want to have a good trading career. And this is also true of things that you don't want to say in real life also. So I hope this helps on both fronts. So first of all, let's look at what happens when we do a deal. It doesn't matter if we're buying or selling. Do we do it from a place of logic, or do we do it from a place of emotion? Well, if any of you have ever tried to buy or sell something based off logic, you know it does not work. I have people who have houses that they say they want, $500,000 for. Every house in the neighborhood ever has never sold for more than $80,000. This actually happened to me. There's a neighborhood in Moore, Oklahoma. It's been around since the early 1950s. Never since 1950 has a house in this neighborhood sold for more than $80,000. It's just never happened. And it's a very large neighborhood. And I had a client who wanted to sell his house, but he would not sell it for less than $200,000. It did not matter that I had literally 70 years worth of comp data saying that the house was worth less than 80 grand. Excuse me, guys. Like I said, bronchial. It did not matter that I had all that data. It did not matter that the banks wouldn't lend. I even asked him, I said, okay, I understand you want 200. I understand that there's never been a house sell for more than 80. You do realize that means that if you find somebody willing to pay 200, they've got to have at least 120,000 in cash, because the bank is not going to lend more than $80,000. They're going to look at the house, they're going to look at the size, the updates, but they're also going to look at the neighborhood. And when the bank sees that the neighborhood has never had a house sell for more than 80 grand, they're going to say, okay, we'll make a loan for 80 grand, right? So that means that the buyer would actually have to come in with the difference between 280 being 120, right? So he understood this, and he said, I really think I can make it happen. Well, that was 5 years ago, guys. Guess what? He still got the house. And I actually feel kind of bad for the guy because of the fact that he was an older guy and he was wanting to sell the house to retire to a farm in rural Oklahoma. So, it happens, and it happens in real life, and it happens in games. So what can we do to avoid situations like that? What can we do to avoid doing things or saying things that are going to make our trading life harder? Well, first of all, we can realize that people do not buy or sell based off of logic. They buy or sell based off of emotion, right? If this game was based off logic, nobody would play. Nobody is going to sit here and go, hey, I can craft with a 30 to 40% success rate and lose money hand over fist and maybe get an all-time high, and logically that's a smart thing to do, right? Nobody's going to do that. But we have EP4 condition crafters because they love crafting. They love the chances of getting that all-time high. It's an emotional thing. They know crafting on condition, they're just going to see fail, 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 fail. But the chances of getting that swirl and getting on that all-time high list, that's an adrenaline rush. That's an emotion thing, right? So now we need to put that into the context of trading. So let me give you a couple of examples. A while back I had something. I think if you pulled up the chart, the daily markup on the chart was like 104%. I think it was an OR or an N matter. Well, I was selling small batches and not the big giant batches that were 104%. And I'd been selling them on auction pretty regularly for 115% because it was a smaller amount, a little bit higher markup, right? Well, somebody got a hold of me and they said, hey, I'd like to buy some. I said, okay, cool. They said, but, the markup's 104%. Yeah, if you want to go to auction and buy, 10,000 at a time, the markup's 104%, feel free. If you want to buy 100 off me, the markup's 115%. So do you want to pay a little bit higher markup and not put as much PED out, or do you want to put out a whole lot of PED but get the lower markup? Oh, I want to put out less PED. Okay, then you're going to have to pay the higher markup. But the chart says that it's 104. Okay, we're done talking, dude. Thanks for messaging me. Bam, goes on my ignore list, right? Well, what did he do? He assumed that whatever the chart says the market value is the same value that the item has for me. That's not true of anything in-game, guys. First of all, the market charts, they're averages. So if it says 104% markup, but there's been 20,000 PED worth that traded hands today, that's average. So there could have been a huge lot that went for 102. There could have been a small lot that went for 110 or even 120. But the average averages out to 104, right? Because it's different to me. So that's the great thing about Entropia is it's a free market system. We have the right in Entropia to set the price of any item, including our labor. So it doesn't just have to be our loot. It can also be our labor if we're a healer or a hunter for hire. We have the right to set that value at whatever it's worth to us. If somebody wants to pay it, they may do so. If they do not, they are not forced to. And if the price is wrong, hopefully the market mechanism will fix it, right? Eventually we'll either lower the price to get business or we'll raise the price to free up more time. So it works a lot the same way as the real world. So what did he do? Well, he made the mistake of thinking that he could logically tell me that my price was wrong. This does not work. It does not work in Entropia. It does not work in real life. You get the same answer. Go to hell either way, right? So in real life, if you tell somebody their price is wrong, they're going to say, okay, get to kicking, get to moving down the road. In Entropia, if you tell somebody their price is wrong, you're pretty much going to get the same answer. In fact, nothing will get you on my ignore list quite like that. It's practically the only thing that will get you on my ignore list is telling me that I'm asking too much money for something. So let me give you a different example where somebody almost got it right. As you guys know, I've got the BP20 FEN Unlimited. It's one of only 15 in-game. And the great thing about this weapon, actually I'm about to use it right now, the great thing about this weapon is it's got 83.2% efficiency, right? So it's one of the highest efficiency weapons in-game, but it's the only high efficiency weapon in-game that can be used by a lower level player. And it's actually almost perfect DPS for a lot of your lower end mobs, your Kiba, Shinkiba, Argonaut, Foul, all kinds of stuff, right? So it's a very versatile weapon and very valuable. I've seen them go on auction for anywhere from 10,000 PED to 12,000 PED, give or take. Well, I had a guy a while back, he came to me, he said, hey bro, I want to buy the BP20 FEN. said, nope, sorry, not for sale. He said, man, come on, give me a price. Just name a price, man. I've had a good run today. I did really good. I hit a Hall of Fame. I'm feeling lucky. I really want it. He kept on, kept on. I was like, dude, it's not for sale. It's not for sale. Well, what'd he do? He was appealing to my emotion, right? So he did a good thing in the beginning. Finally, he wore me down. And, excuse me, guys. He finally wore me down. And I said, all right, man, I tell you what. If you want the BP20 FEN, 13,000 PED, right here, right now, me to you, it's yours. And he said, oh, no, I could never pay that, man. One went on auction the other day for like 11,000 PED. That would be way too much. I could not justify that. And guys, I apologize that this crap's down in my chest and I keep coughing in y'all's ear. I'm going to take the headset off again real quick. Sorry about that, guys. It's one of the reasons I haven't been making a lot of videos the past couple of days. I'm trying not to cough left and right. So he says, I could never pay that. I could do 10. I said, well, okay, you told me to name a price. I told you 13,000 PED would do it, and you don't want to pay that, so that's fine. Like I said, it wasn't for sale in the first place. So he comes back like 30 minutes later, and he's like, all right, what about 10,500? I'm like, no, I told you it wasn't for sale. You begged me. I said 13,000. You hit me with 10, trying to cite auction data. I know what the auction numbers are. It's my gun. I'm very well aware of what the auction numbers are, right? So, no. So another like 20 minutes goes by. He's like, all right, what about like 11,000? No, I told you 13,000 or nothing. And I've had this happen in real life too. I had a guy, he wanted to buy a house from me. Went after me for like a week, calling every day. Finally, I was like, dude, the house is $100,000. At $99,999, I keep it, I rehab it, I make it into a rental property. At $100,000, it's yours. It's literally that black and white. Well, it was the same in this situation. Now, not every negotiation is that black and white, but this one was. So, another 20 minutes goes by. Okay, well, I'll give you 11.5. No, another 20 minutes. Well, what if we did like 12.5 and, I threw in this? No, it's 13,000 PED. It was not for sale. So this goes on for hours. It's just freaking annoying at this point. Finally, he comes back. He's like, all right, bro, 13,000 PED it is. I'm like, no. He's like, what do you mean, no? I'm like, no. First of all, out of principle, no. You don't ask somebody what they want for something that they say isn't for sale, and then whenever they give you a price, you say, oh, no, and try and argue with it, and they want to come back 3 hours later after trying everything that you could think of to get a lower price and say, okay, now I'll give you the price. It doesn't work that way. Second of all, you gave me too much time to think. Remember, we don't make deals based off logic. We make them based off emotion, right? An hour ago, emotionally, 13,000 PED was a good deal. But the more I get to thinking about it, that means that I would have to go back to limited weapons. I'd have to pay about a 20% markup on each gun I went through. I'd have to keep buying extenders. On top of that, I'd be doing all this and I'd be getting less efficiency because I'd have to go back to the old crap efficiency weapons that, 50-60% efficiency compared to my 83.2. It would hurt my returns. It would hurt my loot composition. It just would not be a smart thing to do, right? So, no, I'm sorry. Your window of opportunity is closed. You did the right thing. You begged and begged and begged, and I finally named a price on something I didn't want to sell. And then you screwed it up by trying to pull logic into it when you should have just pulled out your wallet. So what was his answer? He said, well, bro, I'll give you 13.5. I'll give you 500 more than you're asking for. No, I'm sorry. If you wanted it that bad, if it had that kind of value to you, you should not have tried to be a cheap ass. I'm sorry. That's how it works. You don't give people time to think. You don't want people thinking. You don't want them becoming logical, because when you're logical, that's what happens. You realize, if I get rid of this item, I'll have to buy limited items, extenders, pay markup, worse efficiency, worse loot returns, worse loot composition. Does not make sense to sell at this point in my career, right? So he could have had it, but he blew it. So what do we learn from all this? We learned that, first of all, in real life and in game, no deal is made based on logic. It's almost always, always, always based on emotional, right? That's where we want to be. That's where we want to get to when we negotiate. But number two, we've learned that if we apply these rules to Entropia, they work just as well as in real life. If we can get somebody emotionally wanting something, like an all-time high, then we can get them to craft EP4 condition all day long. If we can get somebody wanting to sell something they normally would not sell because they're wanting to buy something else, that's how we're going to get a good deal. So how do we do the opposite? How do we find somebody? Damn it. Hello? You've got to be kidding me. I am so glad I did not stop that. I was pretty sure that was a sales call, but I just wanted to be 100% sure. Sure enough, we've been trying to get a hold of you about your credit card. No, you haven't. Okay, so sorry about that. How do we do the opposite? So how do we kind of do what people are wanting to do without doing what people are doing? Because what people are wanting to do is they're wanting to say, I'm interested in your item, but I'm not interested at this price, or I think your price is a little bit insane, right? That's what we're wanting to do. But what we're doing is we're trying to justify it, and we're trying to say, here's the market value, here's what previous sales are, and that doesn't work, right? Well, there's an easy way to do it. Just say it. So, give you an example of how I'll do it. If I wanted a Christmas ring 19, right? I could say, hey, you've been in Cali Trade saying that you got a Christmas ring 19? Yeah, man, that's a great ring. What are you asking for it? Well, 25,000 ped. Man, that's a beautiful ring. I would love to have it. It'd be such an amazing upgrade. I've got a Summer 17 at the moment. That's a little bit beyond my price range, but let me see what I can do. If I'm able to stretch things, I'll get back a hold of you. Okay, so what did I just do? First of all, I did not insult the person. I did not say, man, you're crazy. Only one of them went for 25,000 on auction, and you're not going to get that again. I didn't say I can get them on PCF for 22,000 all day long. I didn't do that. First of all, I complimented them and told them it's a great ring, because it is. That's a very obvious statement. What else did I say? I said, man, I'd love to have it. I would, but it's a little bit beyond my price range. AKA, I'm not willing to pay that much money for it, right? So what does this do? This kind of leaves the door open. Let me see what I can make happen, and if I can get up to that price, I'll let you know. By the way, I've got a Summer 17, a similar ring, right? I actually think the Summer 17 is superior, even though it has worse buffs, but that's a video for another day. So what does this do? This leaves the door open for them to come back to me and say, hey, you asked me the other day about my Christmas 2019. Yeah. Look, man, I know you couldn't get up to 25,000. I got it out of a box. I just need to move it. What could you do? Now they're asking me to name my price, right? Now we're negotiating. Or, hey, you asked me about it the other day, and you said you would like to upgrade, and you had a Summer 17. Yeah. Well, man, I've got to move it. I just need to free up some ped. I tell you what would you be willing to pay in all ped, and then what would you be willing to pay if we were to trade rings for ring plus ped, your 17 plus ped for my 19? I'm leaving that door open. I'm also leaving the door for me to go back if I should change my mind and decide that it's a ring that I really, really want that bad. I'm leaving the door open for me to go back and make an offer. Hey, I know you'd said you wanted 25,000 ped for it. It's a great ring. I told you I couldn't quite get there. That's still true. I can't quite get there, but I can get close. I think I could come up with an offer that looks something like this amount of ped, this amount of Ds, this amount of whatever. Would that work? So I'm leaving that door open. I'm not telling them, oh, I couldn't pay that price, your price is too high. But at the same time, I'm telling them I can't pay that price, your price is too high, right? Anybody who knows me, who knows how much money I have in this game, if I want to buy something, I'm going to buy it. Your very, very, very high-end products might be a little bit of a stretch or might just not be a good financial decision. But if I want it, I'm going to get it, right? So everybody knows that. They know I have the money. So the question usually is, do I have it liquid? Do I have it available for investment? Can I invest it in this item and be able to sleep well at night? And then, am I willing to pay that price? So there's ways to do it without getting yourself on people's ignore list, right? That's the point I'm trying to make here. If you just tell people straight up, your price is insane, or here's what the market value is, and you try and negotiate from that point of logic, then you're going to get on a lot of people's ignore list. If you go in there with the mind of, let's make this an emotional thing, man, I'd love to have it, it's a beautiful ring, maybe I can't get to that price at the moment, but I'll let you know. If you can employ some of those techniques, you're not insulting people, which will keep you off the ignore list, right? You're also leaving the door open for them to come back to you, or for you to come back to them once you've formulated a proper offer that you're satisfied with, right? So there's ways to say things without getting on people's ignore list, and then there's ways to say them that get you on the ignore list very, very quickly. And the reason I wanted to make this video is, sadly enough, I see so many people that say the wrong thing and just get on an ignore list. I don't think it's healthy for the Entropia game as a whole. I don't think it's healthy for us to continue going, well, you're asking price A, but the market value chart says price B. That's just not healthy for the game. It's not healthy for interpersonal relationships. It's not a good direction for the game to go. So I know this is kind of like rudimentary negotiation 101 training, but I hope that it helps you guys selling and buying in Entropia. I also hope that it helps you buying and selling in real life as well. Again, this is very, very basic training 101 for how to negotiate, but it's very, very helpful too, because so many people do it wrong, right? This guy right here, Scorpion, great example. Hey, need some Hyperstim 10 milligram? Got stock for 5.5 pet each. Smiley face, exclamation point. Okay, notice what he's doing there. He's actually changing it up from the regular want to sell Hyperstim 5.5 pet. Like, he's actually trying to do some marketing. It's marketing and negotiation. It's marketing and sales, right? We got to have both aspects of it. Compare that to this guy's buying output amplifiers 149, thin wool 105, kidney 103, metal residue 101. Which of those do you think is actually going to get more responses? Probably Scorpions, right? So there's a lot of things that we can do in game that we would also do in real life. There's some things that we can't. It's just the constraints of the game. But look at how you're saying things. Look at how you're trying to have those conversations when you buy and sell. And then ask yourself, how many ignore lists did I manage to get myself on? I guarantee you right now, if you look at my ignore list, all but one person on those ignore lists is there for doing this exact thing. For sell, this amount of money. Well, I want it, but that's too much money. Okay, ignore list, right? So it's something that happens. It happens daily. It's happened to the best of us. I'm sure I managed to pull it off once or twice when I wasn't thinking, but I want it to be something you guys are actively aware of, because it will help make the game better, and it'll help make your trading life in Entropia better too. So guys, for EarnPed.com, I've been StevieB. I thank you all for being here. We're getting really close to hitting our subscriber goals. I really think if we keep it up, we'll be there soon. Also getting a lot of private messages that these videos are helping people. As long as they're helping, I will keep pumping them out. You guys know that. I'm going to try and get over this bronchial thing, because I do not want to constantly be coughing in y'all's face the entire time. That's freakishly annoying for both of us. So I'm going to try and get over that too. If I can hit rank 21 on the Merry Creature Challenge, I'll go ahead and record redeeming it. That way we've at least got the first 21 or so stages together, and I'll put them into a playlist. I will be pumping out more videos this week. I've also got some special in-game stuff coming up, so be sure and keep an eye out for that. Other than that, guys, I just want to say thank you for helping us kick 2020 off to a great start. Be sure and let me know in the comments if you guys have had similar experiences to what we've talked about in this video. Have you guys had good and or bad experiences where you said the wrong thing during a trade, or you said the wrong thing to a buyer or seller in real life or in game? And what are some of the constraints that you notice that the game puts on us that we don't have in real life, as far as negotiating, sales, trading, that kind of stuff? So let me know that in the comments. We can continue this conversation, and I'll be back with another video later this week. See you guys soon. Hope you continue to learn and earn.